He saved 2 Apache sisters in a blizzard. Their warrior brother came for blood. The winter storm came without warning. The sky was clear in the morning, and the sun shone over the quiet roads of the reservation. People were going about their day like usual. But by late afternoon, the air began to change. The wind picked up, and the sky turned gray. It did not look like a normal winter day anymore. It looked dangerous. Everyone felt the change. The older people knew what that meant. They had lived through storms before. They knew that the desert could be calm one moment and furious the next. The snow did not fall like soft flakes. It came fast and thick, blowing sideways like someone was throwing white powder across the land. On the edge of the reservation, 2 sisters were driving home. They had been visiting family in a nearby town. They were laughing and talking in the car, happy to see their relatives and to share stories. They had eaten warm food and listened to music. Now, they were heading back to their home, and the road was long. The sisters were not afraid. They were strong and used to living in this land. They knew the roads, and they knew the weather could change. Still, this storm was different. It moved quickly and did not give them time to react. The wind was so strong that it pushed their car to the side of the road. The snow covered the windows, and the world outside became a white wall. They slowed down and tried to find a safe place to stop, but the car started making strange noises. The engine felt weak. The sisters looked at each other, and their faces changed. They realized the car was not going to make it much farther. The sisters pulled over and turned on the hazard lights. They tried to call for help, but the signal was weak. Their phones showed only 1 bar. The storm had already begun to block the signal. They were far from home, and there were no houses nearby. The road was empty. The only sounds were the wind and the snow hitting the car. Inside the car, the sisters held each other's hands. They were scared, but they did not show it. They tried to stay calm. They turned on the heater and wrapped themselves in blankets. They spoke softly, trying to think of what to do next. "We should stay here," the older sister said. "We can wait for someone to pass by." The younger sister nodded, but she was not sure. She wanted to go and find help, but she knew the storm was too strong. The wind could push them off the road. The snow could hide the path. It was safer to stay in the car, she thought, as long as they could keep warm. Hours passed, and the storm did not slow down. The sisters began to feel cold, even with the heater on. The snow was piling up outside. The car was slowly getting covered. The sisters knew that if they stayed too long, they might lose their chance to be found. They needed someone to notice them. The older sister looked at the clock. It was late. The day was almost gone. She worried about her family. She worried about her younger sister. She worried about what would happen if no one came. The younger sister spoke, trying to sound brave. "We are okay," she said. "We just need to stay strong." The older sister smiled, but her eyes were worried. She did not want to scare her sister, but she was scared too. She wished they had not left so late. She wished they had taken a different route. She wished the storm had not come so fast. In another part of the reservation, a man named Tom was working at his home. He lived alone, but he was not lonely. He was known in the community as a quiet person who helped others when needed. He had a strong sense of responsibility. If someone needed help, Tom was the type of person who would go. That day, Tom was repairing a fence near his property. The wind was growing stronger, and he noticed the sky turning gray. He finished his work quickly and went inside to check the weather. He saw the storm warning on the news. The storm was moving fast and would be very dangerous. Tom felt a strange feeling in his chest. He could not explain it, but he knew something was wrong. He decided to prepare for the storm. He gathered extra blankets, water, and food. He also made sure his truck was full of gas. As the storm grew stronger, Tom's neighbors started to close their windows and stay inside. The wind was loud and the snow was thick. People in the community were worried. They did not want anyone to travel. Tom sat by the window and watched the road. He could barely see anything. The snow was like a wall. He thought about the people on the road. He thought about how dangerous it could be to drive in such weather. He wondered if anyone was out there. Then he saw something, a small shape in the distance, moving slowly along the road. It was hard to see because the storm was so strong, but Tom knew it was a vehicle. It was moving slowly, as if the driver was struggling to keep control. Tom felt his heart beat faster. He knew he had to do something. He could not just sit and watch. He grabbed his jacket and headed outside. The wind hit him like a wall. The snow was thick and cold. It was hard to walk, but Tom kept going. He reached his truck and started the engine. The truck roared to life, and Tom drove into the storm. The road was almost invisible. The snow covered everything. The wind pushed the truck from side to side. Tom drove carefully, using the edge of the road as his guide. As he drove, Tom thought about the people he might find. He did not know who they were, but he knew they were in danger. He kept driving, even though he was scared. He knew that if he stopped, he might not be able to start again. He knew that if he turned back, the sisters might not survive. After a long and difficult drive, Tom saw the car. It was half covered in snow and parked on the side of the road. The hazard lights were blinking weakly. Tom slowed down and pulled up beside the car. He could see the sisters inside, their faces pale and tired. Tom rolled down his window and called out, "Hey, are you okay?" The sisters looked up. They were surprised and relieved. They opened the car door carefully, and cold air rushed in. Tom stepped out of his truck and wrapped them in blankets. He helped them into his truck, one by one. The sisters were shaking from the cold. They tried to speak, but their voices were weak. Tom spoke softly to them, trying to calm them. He gave them water and made sure they were warm. "Thank you," the older sister said. "We were afraid we would not be found." Tom nodded. "You're safe now," he said.
"I'm taking you home." The sisters looked at Tom with gratitude. They could not believe someone had come for them in such a storm.
They felt like a weight had been lifted from their shoulders. They felt hope again. Tom started the truck and drove carefully back toward the reservation. The storm was still strong, but the road was not as empty now. The sisters held on to each other, feeling safer. They could see the lights of the reservation in the distance. The thought of home gave them strength. As they drove, the sisters began to speak. They told Tom about their family and where they were going. They thanked him again and again. Tom listened quietly. He did not need praise. He just wanted to help. The truck moved through the storm like a small light in the darkness. The sisters felt grateful and amazed. They knew they had been lucky. They knew that if Tom had not come, they might have been trapped in the car all night. When they reached the reservation, the sisters saw their family waiting outside. They ran to them, crying with relief. The family hugged them tightly. They were safe. Tom watched from a distance, feeling a quiet sense of peace. He knew he had done the right thing. He knew that saving the sisters was not a hero's act. It was simply a human act. He was glad he had been there when they needed him. That night the storm continued, but inside the homes of the reservation, people felt warmer. The sisters were safe, and their family was together. Tom returned to his home, tired but calm. He had faced the storm and helped two people in need. He did not know yet that this act of kindness would lead to a much bigger challenge. But for now, in the quiet of the winter night, he felt the simple truth that one person's courage can save lives. The next morning, the storm had finally passed. The sky was clear and the air was cold but calm. The snow on the ground looked bright and clean. It covered everything like a soft white blanket. The reservation was quiet, but the mood was different. People were talking about what had happened the night before. The sisters were safe inside their home. They sat by the fire, wrapped in blankets. Their mother had prepared warm tea and food. The sisters ate slowly, still feeling weak from the cold. Their hands were red from the storm. Their faces looked tired, but they were smiling. They were happy to be home. The older sister, Ayana, kept thinking about the man who had saved them. She could not stop remembering his face in the snow. She wondered about him. Who was he? Why did he come? Why did he risk his life to save them? The younger sister, Naya, also thought about the man. She kept looking out the window, as if she expected to see him again. She wanted to thank him properly. She wanted to show him how grateful they were. Their mother watched them quietly. She could see that her daughters were still shaken. She knew that the storm had been frightening. She also knew that the rescue had changed something. She had heard people talking about the man. Black, some people praised him. Others said it was not right for an outsider to get involved. The mother did not want to start a conflict. She simply wanted her daughters to be safe. She asked them to rest and to not worry about anything else. But the sisters could not stop thinking about what had happened. They felt a mix of gratitude and fear. Later that day, the sisters went outside to check the road. The snow was deep, and the tracks of the truck were still visible. The sisters followed the tracks, trying to find where the man had come from. They wanted to thank him. As they walked, they noticed that people in the community were watching them. Some nodded and smiled. Others looked serious. A few people whispered. The sisters felt the difference in the air. They realized that not everyone was happy about the rescue. One of the elders, a woman named Clara, approached them. Clara was respected in the community. She was known for her wisdom and kindness. She spoke softly. "You are lucky to be alive," Clara said. "You must be careful. People will talk." The sisters listened. They nodded. They did not fully understand what Clara meant, but they could feel the warning in her voice. Later, they returned home. Their family gathered in the living room. The mood was quiet. The sisters sat with their mother and father. Their father looked serious. He did not smile. He listened to every word. The sisters told their family what had happened. They described the storm, the broken car, and the rescue. They spoke about the man who had helped them. They told their father how kind he had been. Their father listened carefully. He did not interrupt. When they finished, he spoke. "I am grateful he helped you," he said. "But we must be careful. Not everyone will understand." The sisters looked at their father, confused. "What do you mean?" the older sister asked. Their father sighed. He looked down at his hands. He spoke slowly. "Our people have strong rules," he said. "We protect our family. We protect our sisters. We do not like outsiders interfering. It is not that we do not appreciate help, but we must be careful. Some people think they can do anything when they are not part of our family."
The sisters felt a chill in their bodies.
They did not want to think about danger. They wanted to focus on gratitude. But they understood their father's words. They knew that their family was proud and protective. That evening, the sisters decided to visit the man who saved them. They wanted to thank him personally. They also wanted to know his name. They wanted to show him respect. They walked to his home. The path was still covered in snow. The air was cold. The sisters moved carefully. They felt nervous, but they kept going. When they reached his house, they stood outside and knocked on the door. The man opened the door. His face showed surprise. He did not expect visitors. He looked at the sisters and smiled. "Hello," he said. "Come in. You must be cold." The sisters stepped inside. The house was warm and simple. The man offered them tea. He spoke kindly. He introduced himself as Tom. He did not say much about himself. He seemed humble. The sisters thanked him again. They told him how much they appreciated what he did. Tom listened quietly. He smiled and said it was nothing. He said he was glad they were safe. The sisters looked at him carefully. They noticed his calm eyes. They noticed how he did not seek praise. They realized that he truly had helped them without expecting anything in return. But the sisters also noticed something else. Tom seemed worried.
"I asked you all."
His face looked tense. His eyes kept moving toward the window. It was as if he expected something. The older sister asked, "Are you okay?" Tom paused. He looked at the sisters and then nodded. "I'm fine," he said, "but you should be careful too. People might talk." The sisters did not understand. They asked him what he meant. Tom took a deep breath. He spoke slowly. "There are people who might not like that I helped you," he said. "They might think I crossed a line. They might think I should not have come. They might be angry." The sisters felt their hearts beat faster. They had not thought about this. They had only thought about gratitude. Now they felt a new kind of fear. They wondered if their rescue could cause trouble. Tom continued. "I did what I thought was right," he said. "I could not leave you there. But I want you to be safe. You should not go out alone. You should not talk about this too much." The sisters nodded. They understood. They promised to be careful. They stayed for a while longer. They talked about simple things. They spoke about their family, their home, and their life. Tom listened and shared small stories about his work. The sisters felt more comfortable. They felt that Tom was a good person. Before leaving, the sisters gave Tom a small gift. It was a handmade bracelet. Their mother had made it. It was a sign of respect and gratitude. Tom accepted it with a humble smile. "Thank you," he said. "I will keep it." The sisters left, feeling better. They felt relieved that Tom was kind and safe. But they also felt the weight of their father's warning. They knew that not everyone would accept this. That night, the sisters returned home and told their family about their visit. Their father listened quietly. When they finished, he spoke again. "I understand why you wanted to thank him," he said, "but you must be careful. We must protect our family. We must protect our sisters." The sisters nodded. They wanted to obey their father. They wanted to keep their family safe. They also wanted to honor the man who saved them. As the days passed, the sisters tried to live normally. They went to work, helped their family, and tried to forget the storm, but they could not forget Tom. They kept thinking about him. They kept thinking about the cold and the snow. They kept thinking about how close they were to danger. One day, the older sister, Ayana, heard something from the community. People were talking about a man who had saved the sisters. Some praised him, but others were angry. Ayana felt her stomach tighten. She realized that her father was right. Not everyone would accept this. She went home and told her father. Her father listened and nodded. He looked worried. "We must prepare," he said. "We must be careful." The sisters did not know what to do. They did not want to cause trouble. They only wanted to live in peace, but they knew that their family's honor was important. They knew that their brother would not like this. The sisters had a brother named Cade. He was strong and proud. He was known for his courage. He was protective of his family. He believed in family rules and traditions. He believed that outsiders should not interfere. Cade was away during the storm. He had been visiting another town for work. He did not know what had happened. When he returned, he saw the worried faces of his family. He saw the silence. He knew something was wrong. He asked his father what happened. His father explained the rescue. He explained that an outsider had saved the sisters. He explained that some people in the community were not happy about it. Cade listened quietly. He did not speak. His face was serious. He looked at his sisters, and he could see the fear in their eyes. He could see that they were grateful, but he could also feel their worry. Cade stood up and left the room. He walked outside into the cold air. He needed time to think. He needed to understand what this meant. He thought about his family. He thought about his sisters. He thought about the rules he had always followed. He thought about his pride. He thought about his responsibility. Cade knew that he must protect his family. He knew that he must make sure no one could harm them. He also knew that he must keep the family's honor. As he stood outside, he felt the wind on his face. He remembered the storm. He remembered the fear. He remembered his sisters in the car. He felt a strange feeling in his chest. He did not know what it meant yet. He decided to do something. He decided to find the man who saved his sisters. He wanted to talk to him. He wanted to understand why he came. He wanted to decide what to do next. The next day, Cade left his home. He walked toward the man's house. The snow was still on the ground. The air was cold, but the sky was clear. He felt determined. He felt strong. He felt ready. He did not know how this meeting would end. He only knew that he had to face it. He had to protect his family. He had to honor his beliefs. The sisters watched their brother leave. They felt worried. They did not want trouble. They did not want conflict. They only wanted peace. But deep inside, they also knew that their brother was not an easy person to stop. He was strong, proud, and determined. He would do what he believed was right. And so, the peaceful days after the storm began to change. The sisters could feel it. Something was coming. Something bigger than the storm. Something that would test their family, their courage, and their trust. Cade walked through the snow, his boots making soft sounds as he moved. The sky was clear, but the cold air cut through his jacket. He kept his hands in his pockets and his head down. He did not speak to anyone. He did not want anyone to see his worry. He had a heavy feeling in his chest. He knew he had to talk to Tom. He knew he had to find out why the man had helped his sisters. He wanted to understand, but he also wanted to protect his family. He wanted to make sure no one could take advantage of them. As he walked, he thought about his sisters. He thought about their faces in the storm. He remembered the fear in their eyes. He remembered the relief when Tom arrived. He remembered how they had hugged each other. He remembered the way Tom had helped them without asking for anything. Cade felt confused. He did not know what to feel. He was proud of his sisters. He was glad they were alive. He was grateful to the man who saved them. But he also felt angry. He felt that an outsider should not have been involved. Cade reached Tom's house. It was a small home with a simple yard. The snow was piled around it. The door was closed and the windows were covered in frost. Cade stood for a moment, unsure of what to do next. He took a deep breath and knocked on the door. Tom opened the door. He looked surprised. He did not expect visitors. When he saw Cade, he could feel the tension in the air. He knew this visit was important. "Hello," Tom said. "Can I help you?" Cade did not answer right away. He stared at Tom for a moment. He tried to understand his face. He tried to read his thoughts. He did not want to show weakness. He wanted to stay strong.
My sisters told me what happened. Cade said, they told me you saved them.
Tom nodded.
"Yes," he said. "I did."
Cade took a step forward. His voice was calm, but his eyes were serious.
"Why did you come?" he asked. "Why did you risk your life to help them?" Tom looked at Cade carefully. He could see the concern in his eyes. He could see the pride and the fear. He could feel that Cade was trying to protect his family. Tom spoke slowly. He wanted to be careful with his words. "I saw them on the road," Tom said. "I saw they were in trouble. I knew the storm was dangerous. I could not leave them there." Cade listened. He did not interrupt. He wanted to hear the whole story. Tom continued. "I didn't think about anything else," he said. "I just wanted to help. I did not expect anything in return.
I just wanted them to be safe." Cade looked at Tom for a long time. "Judd."
He could see that Tom was honest. He could see that Tom was not lying. He could see that Tom truly cared. But Cade still felt uneasy. He still felt that something was wrong. He could not shake the feeling that this was not just a simple rescue. He could not shake the feeling that there was a deeper meaning. Cade decided to ask another question. "Did you know them?" he asked. "Did you know they were from our family?" Tom shook his head.
No, Tom said. I did not know who they were.
"I only saw two people in danger. I did what I thought was right." Cade felt his anger begin to fade. He felt a small relief. But he still had questions. "Did you speak to anyone about it?" Cade asked. Tom nodded slowly. "I told a few people," Tom said. "I did not want to hide it. I wanted them to know they were safe." Cade nodded. He understood. He knew Tom was not hiding anything. But he also knew that the community would talk. He knew that some people would not like it. Cade felt the weight of his responsibility. He felt the pressure from his family. But he felt the pressure from his culture. He felt the pressure from his own pride. He decided to speak honestly. "My family is worried," Cade said. "They think you may have crossed a line. They think you may have brought attention to us." Tom listened quietly. He could see that Cade was trying to protect his family. He could see that Cade was not trying to attack him. He could see that Cade was trying to understand. Tom nodded. "I understand," he said. "I didn't mean to cause trouble. I only wanted to help." Cade sighed. He looked at the snow on the ground. He felt a mix of emotions. "I want to trust you," Cade said, "but I need to know something. Are you here to help, or are you here for something else?" Tom looked at Cade with calm eyes. He understood the importance of this question. He knew that Cade was not only protecting his family, but also testing him. "I'm here to help," Tom said. "I have no other reason." Cade still felt unsure. He needed to see more. He needed to know if Tom would respect their family. He decided to ask one last question. "Will you promise me something?" Cade asked. Tom nodded. "Yes," he said. "Anything." Cade took a deep breath. "Promise me you will not interfere with our family again," he said. "Promise me you will not come near my sisters unless they ask you to." Tom looked at Cade. He could feel the seriousness in his voice. He understood that this was not a request. This was a boundary. Tom nodded slowly. "I promise," he said. "I will respect your family. I will not come near them unless they want me to." Cade felt a small relief. He felt that the promise was enough for now. He could see that Tom was honest. He could see that Tom respected his family. Cade nodded. He turned to leave. Before he walked away, he spoke again. "Thank you for saving them," he said, "but please remember your promise." Tom watched Cade leave. He felt the tension slowly disappear. He understood that Cade was not trying to be mean. He was trying to protect his family. After Cade left, Tom stood at the door for a moment. He thought about the conversation. He thought about the sisters. He thought about the storm. He thought about the feeling in the air. He felt a sense of worry. He wondered if he had done the right thing. He wondered if his act of kindness could bring trouble. Meanwhile, the sisters were waiting at home. They were nervous. They did not know what their brother would do. They hoped the meeting would end peacefully. They prayed that their family would be safe. When Cade returned home, his sisters ran to him. They hugged him tightly. They asked him what happened. Cade looked at them with a serious face. He did not smile. He spoke softly. "He is a good man," Cade said. "He saved you." He was honest. He promised not to interfere. The sisters felt a wave of relief. They were happy to hear this. They felt grateful to their brother for protecting them. They felt grateful to Tom for saving them. But the sisters also felt something else. They felt a new sense of fear. They realized that the storm was not the only danger. They realized that their family's honor and pride could cause more trouble than the storm. The sisters looked at each other. They knew they had to be careful. They knew they had to respect their brother's wishes. They knew they had to keep their family safe. That night, the sisters sat by the fire again. They spoke quietly. "I am glad he is okay," the younger sister said. "I was scared." The older sister nodded. "I am glad too," she said, "but I feel sad. I wish we could just be grateful and not worry." The younger sister looked at her. "Maybe we can," she said. "Maybe things will be okay. Maybe our brother will understand." The older sister smiled, but her eyes were still worried. "I hope so," she said. As the days passed, the community slowly returned to normal. People went back to work. Children returned to school. The snow began to melt. The storm became a memory, but the sisters could still feel the tension. They could still feel the weight of their family's pride. They could still feel the fear of what might happen next. They tried to stay calm. They tried to live their lives, but they knew that the next step would be important. The next step would decide whether their family would remain peaceful or whether the storm would return in a different form. They did not know what would happen. They only knew that they had to be strong. They had to stay united. They had to trust each other. And so the story continued. The storm was over, but the real challenge was just beginning. After the meeting between Cade and Tom, the air in the community felt different. The storm was over, but a new kind of tension had arrived. It was not loud or visible like the wind. It was quiet, like a thought that never left your mind. People spoke less. They watched more. They listened more carefully. The sisters tried to live normally. They went to work and helped around the house. They laughed with their friends, but they still felt the weight of the storm in their hearts. They still felt the weight of the meeting. They still wondered if their brother would truly trust Tom. The next week passed quietly. The sisters did not hear much about Tom. They assumed that he had respected Cade's request. They felt a small sense of relief. They began to believe that the worst was behind them. But then, one afternoon, the sisters saw something that made their hearts race. They were walking to the store when they saw Tom driving slowly through the reservation. His truck moved carefully, as if he was looking for someone. The sisters stopped and watched him. They felt confused. They had not expected to see him again. They had promised their brother they would not see him. They had promised to keep the family safe. Tom parked his truck near the store. He stepped out and looked around. He seemed nervous. He looked like he was trying to decide whether to go in or leave. He stood there for a moment, then turned and walked away. The sisters looked at each other. They felt a new wave of fear. They knew their brother would be angry if he found out Tom had come. They knew that this could cause trouble. They rushed home and told their father. Their father listened carefully. He did not speak right away. He thought for a moment, and then he spoke. "This is not good," he said. "He has broken the promise. He has come into our land without permission." The sisters felt a strong sense of guilt. They did not want Tom to be blamed. They did not want their family to be blamed. They did not want conflict. Their father continued. "We must find out why he came," he said. "We must talk to him. We must understand." The sisters nodded. They knew their father was right. They also knew that they were afraid of what would happen next. That evening, Cade returned home. He noticed the worry on his family's faces. He could feel that something was wrong. He asked his father what happened. Their father told him about Tom's visit to the store. Cade's face changed. His eyes grew serious. He stood up and left the house without saying a word. He walked into the cold night. He did not know where he was going. He only knew that he had to find Tom. Cade walked through the reservation, following the tracks left by Tom's truck. The snow was still on the ground, but it was melting. The air was quiet. The only sound was Cade's footsteps. He reached the place where Tom had parked. He looked around. He saw no one. He felt a mix of anger and worry. He knew that Tom had broken the promise. He knew that this could cause trouble. Cade decided to follow Tom's path. He walked quickly, his heart beating fast. He wanted to find Tom before he left the reservation. He wanted to understand why he had come. After a while, Cade saw Tom's truck parked near the edge of the reservation. Tom was standing outside the truck, looking at the horizon. He seemed deep in thought. He did not notice Cade approaching. Cade stepped forward. Tom turned around, surprised to see him. "Cade," Tom said, "I didn't expect you to come." Cade's voice was calm, but his eyes were sharp. "You promised," Cade said. "You promised you would not come here again?" Tom looked down. He knew he had broken the promise. He knew that he had caused worry. He felt a sense of shame. "I know," Tom said. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to break it." Cade waited. He wanted to hear the reason. He wanted to know why Tom had come. Tom took a deep breath. "I came because I was worried about your sisters," he said. "I heard people talking. I heard that some people were not happy. I wanted to make sure they were okay." Cade's eyes softened a little. He could see that Tom was sincere. Then he could see that Tom was not trying to cause trouble. He could see that Tom was worried. Cade still felt a little angry. He still felt that Tom had crossed a line. He still felt that the family needed protection. "You should not come here without permission," Cade said. "You must respect our family. You must respect our rules." Tom nodded. "I understand," he said.
But I couldn't stay away. I couldn't stop thinking about your sisters.
I wanted to make sure they were safe. Cade thought for a moment. He could see the truth in Tom's words. He could see that Tom was not a threat. He could see that Tom cared. But Cade also knew that the community would not understand. He knew that people would talk. He knew that some people would think Tom was trying to take advantage of his family. He knew that his sisters could be hurt by rumors. Cade decided to speak honestly. "Your concern is good," he said, "but you must understand that our family must protect itself. We have rules for a reason. We cannot allow outsiders to come and go without permission." Tom nodded. He understood. He wanted to respect the family. He wanted to follow the rules. He did not want to cause harm. Cade continued.
"Here is what we will do," he said. "You will not come here again unless we invite you.
You will not speak about our family to others. And if you want to help, you will do it in a way that does not bring attention to us." Tom listened carefully. He nodded. "I agree," he said. "I will follow your rules." Cade felt a small relief. He felt that the promise was back in place. He felt that the family would be safe. Their brother had protected them. The man who saved them had earned their trust. The family had grown stronger. The storm was over. But the memory of it remained as a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there can be light. And sometimes, that light comes from the most unexpected places.